decisions, great mound visits, great job not letting the best player beat you.
This one crushed, out to right field. And it's going to be out of here. Pennsylvania walk-off home run. Travis Devonic sends him to Williamsport.
With the 37th pick of the 2023 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Kevin McGonigal, a shortstop from Monsignor Bonner High School, Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive. Left field. It's deep. It's gone. Yes! And it is gone!
Yes!
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, his 10th career home run in the postseason. And he may never hit a bigger one.
What is up, Delaware County, and welcome back for episode number 74 of Delco Baseball Now, alongside Ben Thope. I am Brendan Ricciardi. Ben, how are we doing today?
Doing fantastic, man. My what's it called? My Kentucky Derby horse won.
So you picked Sovereignty?
Yeah. It's just second year in a row now.
You know who I picked?
Journalism.
Journalism. We had to support journalism, and he came in second place. So we were neck and neck.
Yeah, dude. The kick from Sovereignty was at the end there. It was pretty impressive, but I was looking at like midway through. It was like none of my horses are anywhere close.
That course looked awful. It was so muddy.
Oh my god, yeah. They showed like right before the race started, they had the overhead shot, and it literally looked like just like a pool of brown water that they were going to be running in. It was crazy.
All right, well, welcome back to Delco Horse Racing Now. But I imagine a lot of our audience was involved as well. But we got a lot to talk about this week. We got a lot going on. We got a lot in terms of the playoff picture, in terms of upsets, game of the week, whatever you name it. So this is going to be a jam-packed show. We're excited you guys are here to listen with us. But first, before we get into the action, let's hear a word from our good friends over at STS.
If you love working with kids and making a difference, then Substitute Teaching is the perfect job for you. Substitute Teacher Service is hiring teachers in your area year-round for all positions and levels. A teaching degree is not required. We provide you with all necessary certification and even help you to work towards a full-time teaching position. Great benefits, flexible schedule, a rewarding career. The Subservice is hiring right now in your area. Learn more and apply today at thesubservice.com.
All right, thank you to STS for being a great sponsor. As always, let's dive into it, because usually we kind of shoot the shit for a little earlier on, but at this point we got so much to get through. Mm-hmm. I think we should just get right into it. So game of the week, Ben, we missed you. I know you had to work, so we held it down for you here. This was by far, maybe you're the bad luck charm, this was by far our best game of the year, easily. Dave and I, once again, for anyone who doesn't know, shout out our guy, Dave Shapansky, who does our play-by-play and our interviews. If you don't know him yet, you're probably living under a rock, because this dude's a superstar. And, when he's announcing big league games someday, we're going to make him give us a shout out. But he, him and I were talking about how every single game of the week up until this one, the losing team had exactly one run. So once Lower Merion went up 2-0, we're like, well, this game's over. Congratulations to Lower Merion for game. No, this was a great game. Perfect weather. Finally didn't have any technical issues. The Wi-Fi was good. Just everything went smooth. So hopefully that can be the standard going forward. But it was a great game. We had two big hits from two players who hadn't been doing great lately, which I know felt great for them. We had Matt Hartstein had a 2-run single for Lower Merion in the top of the second. Justin Heck started for Lower Merion. Henry Fuer started for Conestoga. Both of these pitchers went the distance. We didn't see any of the bullpen, which I know for a rare 3-game week in the Central League, that was huge. But we had in the 5th inning back-to-back sac flies from Cooper Evers and Chase Sherney. And you got to give a shout-out to Coach Anthony Greco here, because with first and second and no outs, they called a double steal, which really set the tone for the inning, because instead of laying out the bunt, they just went for it. They were both safe, 2 sac flies. All of a sudden, it's a tie game there. But the swing of the day was with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Landon Jones, who I don't have the exact number, but had been really struggling throughout the season after a great freshman year. I think he was an honorable mention All Delco for us behind the plate. for Conestoga, and he had a huge single that scored Brendan Sora to put Conestoga ahead. And for the first time all year, we had a player of the game that was not a pitcher. That
is a welcome change, honestly. I think we've been a little bit pitcher heavy, and we've gotten some really good.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we talked about the losing teams had one run for every game. So, but yeah, that was I was following along a little bit, doing my best while also filling some coaching duties. But yeah, it looked like an awesome game. Really happy that a couple of guys have been struggling, got their opportunities to go out and do that. I did not know Landon Jones was a sophomore. I thought from the interview I got, he just seemed like
mature.
Yeah, it seemed like mature, like leader of the team. Like guys seemed like really excited for him. Like so, it's kind of cool to see out of like one of your underclassmen.
Yep.
But yeah, just a really good game. I think two teams that have a really good shot to do some special stuff this year. Yeah,
both pitchers threw really well. I was really pleased with how Henry Fuertes led up those 2 runs. They're technically unearned runs, but I don't know if this is a hot take. I think when a pitcher makes an error, they should still count as earned runs. Because there was like a bunt where he threw in the outfield, so like those runs didn't end up being charged to his stat line. But either way, to let up those 2 runs early in the game and then end up with going the complete game and not allowing a single run after that was awesome. I thought Justin Heck looked good too. Fuertes had 7 innings, 4 hits, the 2 unearned runs, and then 5 Ks. Justin Heck, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 unearned runs, and the 4 K. These teams are neck and neck. I would love if there's some way that they could meet in the playoffs, because you can tell, we were rightfully getting chirped that neither of these teams are from Delco. I'll own that, but I also think that they played, an incredible game. They both are, they play Delco baseball, whether they're located there or not. And shout out, I told him I'd give him a shout out. Shout out to Conestoga closer JP Tinney for carrying our folding table out.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah, because Coach Anthony Greco was telling his guys to help us in any way they could. And I was just like, honestly, like, we got everything. If someone could just grab the table, my hands are kind of full. So he's like, if you give me a shout out, I got you. So shout out our guy JP.
That is I mean, you had us at no technical issues with in terms of like wanting to come back and do a game of the week somewhere, but hey, roll out the red carpet, have the players help out. We'll be back.
Yeah. All right, so let's see some of these post-game interviews here. First, we got our player of the game, Landon Jones, alongside David Shapansky, as well as our head coach, Anthony Greco. Take a listen.
Welcome back, Delaware County. It's time for our player of the game interview here with Landon Jones. Landon, the game-winning hit there in the 6th. You've had some offensive struggles at times this year. You come through with a big hit. How good did that feel for you?
It was awesome. I feel like I kind of just found my swing. Finally didn't think, just focused on hitting the baseball, and it worked.
Justin Heck was really good in this game for Lower Merion. Walk us through what's going through your head in that at-bat with the opportunity of 2 outs. You need a hit, you come through.
So I knew I was getting a changeup. He threw me 3 straight last at bat. I kind of knew it was coming.
Yay! Go! Go, baby!
It's our first Gatorade bath.
Yeah. So I knew the changeup.
It's cold, but I bet it probably feels pretty good.
It felt awesome. Yeah. I knew the change was coming. I just focused on sitting back and driving up the middle. I ended up doing it, so it felt good.
And you also had the chance to catch for Henry today. I mean, how good was Fuertes today out there on the mound? Goes a complete game. I mean, what was it like just catching for him today and really catching for him all season long?
He was a dog. I mean, he stayed in those long counts, those long innings, and just being able to do that gave us energy, helped us get back in the dugout and start hitting. So, he was a dog today.
All right, Landon. Well, we asked your head coach, favorite go-to Wawa snack. Where are you going? You going to Wawa road trip? What are you grabbing?
I like mac and cheese.
That's awesome. Brendan and I said that today. That's great. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate it, Landon. Great game. Thank you. Our player of the game, Landon Jones. Hello, Delaware County, and welcome to our coach of the game interview here with winning coach of Conestoga, Coach Anthony Greco. Coach, congratulations on the win. Coach, it's such a great opportunity over the past couple days to kind of connect and talk about Conestoga, but this is a great win for you guys against Lower Merion. You get some revenge against a team that beat you earlier in the year. First of all, I mean, how good does this win feel for you guys?
Well, first of all, I just want to give all the kudos and credit to Coach Quinn and Coach Brandon over there at Lower Merion. What they have built through the past 4 years here, they have an absolute monster machine over there. We played our first game against them, and it did not go our way, and we were very driven since losing that first game. And we always had a saying after the first 5 games, we were on a losing streak, and just things weren't falling our way. My favorite verse is Romans 8:18. All the pain and struggle you go through right now is nothing compared to the joy that is coming. That's been a mantra we lived with every single day, and it feels amazing getting the byproduct that we wanted today. We just got to stay humble and hungry and move forward to the next one, but absolutely grinder today. That's all the kudos to Lower Merion making us a better team. So they helped us with our preparation, no doubt.
Coach, first 4 innings, the offense had some hits, had some base runners, but couldn't really get anything across. You come through in the 5th, get a couple sacrifice flies. You really have always kind of stressed this process, and the process really worked there in the 5th. What you make of your offense coming back there and putting up some runs against a great pitcher in Justin Heck?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, these Heck brothers, we have the Havertine brothers in the league, we got the Bauer brothers in the league, and we have the Heck brothers in the league, and what the heck? Pun intended. They're phenomenal. They actually put us in tough spots today. Kept us off balance with their all speeds. He was hitting his spots. I felt like we were getting base runners on, but we just weren't utilizing our 3 strikes with our approaches. We were offering at his all speed way too often early. Luckily, our coaching staff went over a bunch of adjustments with our guys. Sit back, hunt the heater, and we found some success with it. But again, all the credit to the pitcher here for making our offense step up. But I'll tell you right now, whoever was in the lineup, whoever was in the dugout, man, it was just not really coaches talking to the players today. We really left it on them, where they just got together, they picked each other up, and our culture was phenomenal today.
Landon Jones with the big hit, coming there in the 6th to put you guys ahead. He struggled a little bit offensively this year. I mean, how good does that feel for you as a coach to see him come through in that moment?
There's no better feeling than seeing someone who puts the amount of time that Landon Jones does into this game. The batting average, you look at the numbers, everything right now, it doesn't represent the heart and the character that this kid has. The process he goes through every single day, all the hard work he's put in. For all young ball players out there, man, you keep grinding, stay true to your process and who you are, and you'll get a result like that today. And so we're extremely proud of Landon. Not surprised one bit, and we're elated for him. Everyone in the dugout, everyone in the program is just so happy for him. Couldn't happen to a better person.
And on the pitching side of things, Henry Fuerst, I mean, how good was he? Yeah, that's a nickname. I know you told me. Complete game, 7 innings. I mean, he really settled in as this game got going, and he seemed like he just continued to get better and better. Yeah. Watch from the dugout. What was it like today?
This kid's got moxie. He's got confidence. He's everything you want in a pitcher. Absolutely phenomenal. Coming off and talking to Henry in between innings is very funny because he's very monotone and straightforward. He never makes eye contact with you when he's come off the mound. He's just like, I feel good. I have trust myself. You guys have trust in me. I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll run you out the next inning. And it's every game with him. We're just so proud of him. Again, another kid that stays true to his process. His routine is very particular, and I'm not surprised one bit with what happened today on the mound here. He's an absolute savage, absolute pit bull. He may be living out in a different area, but we got a bunch of Delco Bulls here right now, so it's great. We got a lot of grit.
Well, Coach, you've done a fantastic job over your first couple of years here at Conestoga. You deserve a lot of buffalo chicken sandwiches from Wawa. So go get them for you.
I gotta bring a plug in here. We got New Wayne Pizza on 109 South Wayne Avenue. Wawa, phenomenal. All peace in the world to Wawa, but New Wayne Pizza, we got everything there. So that's where I usually get my food from.
Congratulations on the win, Coach Greco. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, Anthony Greco might be the most energetic coach I've ever seen. This guy just loves baseball. You can tell that the players love playing for him. The parents love having their kids play for him. Just a really, really good addition to their program. And, selfishly, I've known him for a long time. I knew he'd be great. He's been an assistant coach for as long as I can remember, outside of our ed coach team where he was the coach. But I'm glad he's getting his opportunity. And, we've said it on the show repeatedly, but starting 0-5, especially in your first year, is just brutal. But him and his staff, shout out my guy Vince Pizzato, as well as former Conestoga player Luke Turner from my senior year. He was 2017, and Corey Woodcock as well. A nice staff, young talent. They've really just put things together, and it seems like I think mathematically they probably would like to have one more win to officially clinch a playoff spot. But I do think 8-8 probably gets you in, but 9-7 definitely gets you in. Yeah,
they should be. I mean, obviously you want to ask for even more at this point. They're kind of fighting for that home game. I finished like 10-6 or something along there. You're in really good business.
Yeah, we'll talk. Sorry, keep going.
I'm sorry. I was just like, they're in really good. They're in a really good spot. We've said it a million times. Incredible recovery after just a terrible start, and just all credit to everyone there.
Yep. We'll talk district rankings at the end of the Central League recap. But, I'm just very happy with the way Conestoga played. As for Lower Merion, I mean, Coach Quinn, they got a great team over there. Having identical twin brothers at the top of your rotation is hilarious. It actually, I've seen this before because there were two guys that played club with me at Penn State, Anthony and Matt Bertolami from Bishop Shanahan. Same thing, identical twins, literally just a 1 and a 2 in the rotation. It's got to be so funny as a coach to have that luxury there. But well, obviously, you know, things didn't go well for Lower Merion today overall, but they are still sitting at 9-4. And you know what? They rebounded in about the best way you could possibly ask when they took down Haverford 24 hours later. The Haverford team that was 15-0 on the year. Brian Heck started a game on Monday against Hareton, came out after 4 innings, came back on Thursday, threw 5 innings, and, you know, got that win against Haverford that, you know, the burners in our comments were having a field day with. But they scored. Listen, I mean, if you're Jimmy Boyle, you know that if you say we're probably not going to lose a game this year, if you lose, you're going to get chirped back. Like that's just how it goes. Like you own it, you know. But Lower Merion scored 5 runs in the 4th inning. Brody Slensky had 2 hits. Toby Myers and Charlie Parsons both drove in 2 runs. Also, shout out Toby Myers had 2 homers in the Hareton game on Monday. But this was a very uncharacteristic Haverford pitching performance because listen to this: they had 4 walks the entire game. Right, they were in the span of 5 batters, and 3 of them were with the bases loaded to drive in a run.
Wow.
Just a momentary lapse. Very, very rare.
Kind of guy. It was really just one blow up inning. It seems like. I mean, that was. I know we were kind of paying attention to it. It was like, oh, Lower Marion's up, and we had seen the jam, and it just kind of got worse and worse. It just snowballed a little bit on them. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like obviously, for Haverford, you know, you kind of came out like, oh, we're not losing the game. All that, like, it's tough to drop one. And they, I guess, took a little bit of flack in the comment section, but it's still a really good team. I think you look at that and like we kind of just said it, but like a momentary blow up there.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of teams, like you sometimes need a wake up call, you know, just to be like, hey, like we can't get complacent. Like we can't just roll out of bed and win every game that we play. Like we got to still have the same intensity that we had earlier on in the season. But yeah, that's a huge win for Lower Merion after a game that I won't say that they should have won against Stoga, but like could have won, you know, like I think that they came out of that thinking that they were right there. So to be able to go out on your 3rd game of the week and beat Haverford is a huge win. Yeah. Same thing we were just talking about with Stoga. I'd like to think Lower Merion probably clinched a spot today or in that game because they're 9-4. So you'd probably think that, you know, at the like they're probably
in the minimum. I would say.
Yeah, like I would think 9-7. Like I used the benchmark last year. Ridley got in at 8-8, and they were one of the last teams in. So you think that 8-8 at least gives you like a fair chance here. But
yeah, I would 500 to a game below 500 for Central League teams in 6A. 500 is probably the worst you can be and make the playoffs.
Yep.
I think some other conferences you could probably go a game below just because of how the wins are weighted. But yeah, I would say about 500 would be. So they're in good shape.
Yep. All right, let's talk about one of the best pitching performances we've had all season here. Austin Havertine on Monday against this Conestoga team. They got, man, like Conestoga bounced back with the 2 wins later in the week, but Havertine had 16 strikeouts. That's the most we've had in Delco all year. I think the most I've seen since Chris Zapito had 18 in that playoff game.
Yeah,
against CV. I think CV South or Council Rock South. I think
it was Council Rock South.
Yeah, I think it was Council Rock. He had 8 straight strikeouts at one point during this game as well, which is definitely pretty rare. Conestoga actually went up 2-0 on a Luke Hunter single and Chase Sherney double, but Radnor got a 2-run Zach Fine single in the bottom of the 3rd, and Joe Krasowski 2-run single in the 6th was the difference in the 4-2 win for Radnor, but just a ridiculous performance from Havertine. And I think the thing that stands out the most from him is he just pounds the zone. Radnor, shout out Radnor for having their stats public. If you don't do it, please do. It helps our jobs, makes our jobs a lot easier.
It's so much easier.
Yeah, makes the content even better. So he's thrown 38 and a third innings pitched this year, a 1.10 ERA, and 62 strikeouts to just 11 walks.
That's I mean, you can't ask for anything better out of a pitcher. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 6 Ks to every walk about is
I mean, when you have the stuff he has, like if you have when you have the stuff he has, if you have the ability to keep it in the zone like that, you might as well and just go out and attack because not many guys are going to hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think so much was made about A, Conestoga's win streak, which ended in this game. B, Haverford's unbeaten streak for the entire season. That I feel like in a way Radnor's almost gone like a little under the radar in the sense of like obviously
they're about them as much as
I think it's always just been like since Haverford won that game, it's like they were in the driver's seat, right? Like they were the ones that had to be beaten. If they won out, the conference was theirs. Now these two teams are tied. And this feels like a great time to go on my Central League playoffs, should be a thing rant because, man, like you can't tell me that you don't want to see Haverford and Radnor play each other again, right? Like if they both end the season,
absolutely love that.
If they both end the season at 15-1, they will be co-champions. There's no tiebreaker. It wouldn't go to Haverford because, Haverford won like the regular season matchup. They would just be co-champions. And I'm going to tell you, not a single player in either of those dugouts is happy with that result.
No, yeah, I think like one of the most annoying result in anything is a tie. Like
yeah, like
you want it to know like you want to have like definitive one way or another, and obviously there are a lot of other factors that go into why the Central League does not have playoffs that are out of pretty much everyone's control, but. Yeah, you would love to see those two teams like go back out and like have that rubber match and really like go out and decide this. I don't know, maybe you can have for any Blue Mountain State fans have the that like secret game at the end of the year.
Yep. I actually have a radical Central League revolution idea that I think could fix everything. So I put some thought into this, and it starts with shortening the regular season. So in my proposal, so right now you basically have the 6 teams that are 5A. And the 6 teams that are 6A, right? Like, you play the same like class that you are twice and then the other one once. So my proposal is you split into 3 divisions. So there's what I would call these are the 5A teams. So Springfield, Strathaven, Pencrest, Marple. That's one division. Then there's teams that are 6A, which would be Ridley, Upper Darby, Haverford, and Garnet Valley. Then this division would be mixed, but it would be kind of called like the mainline division. Conestoga, Lower Merion, Radnor, and Harriton. So then you'd get Lower Merion and Lower Merion and Harriton now get to play twice. You have those teams are closer together. In the playoffs, you would have the division winners would all make the playoffs, and then the next 3 like wild card teams, basically like the MLB playoffs.
So the top 2 in each division would make it.
Or you could just do 3 division winners and then just the next best.
Oh, and then like
teams, like the wild cards, and then for playoffs. You would just have, 3 rounds. It would be like the play-in round, or even if you wanted to, you could just do the 3 division winners and then the best wild card. So you could do semis and a championship. But then by doing that, you play everyone in your division twice, then everyone else once. That gets you 14 games. So then you do that, and then the last week of the regular season is now the playoff week, and then everybody's good by districts.
I like that.
Kind of electric.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Because you can't tell me that it can't be done when the Pioneer Conference does it. Like they do it. They do every year. They have the playoffs at Springford Stadium where the top 4 teams in the conference just play semis. I think it's semis on a Thursday and the championship on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it feels too like obvious that it should be done. But we'll do our best with that. That's enough for my rant there. But I think that this conference is too good. And at the very least, there should be a clause that if you have the same record, you play.
Yeah, just play
like 1 game.
Or 1.
Yeah. Like the Central League is done on Monday the 12th. Districts don't start till Monday the 19th. You can't play a game on Wednesday, like if necessary, game. Like you'd have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and you probably wouldn't start your ace in that game anyway. So I don't know. It's just it just frustrates me. Like. My senior year, Springfield tied 2 other teams. That's 25% of the league. Is a champion. That's ridiculous.
Everyone wins. Like, that's ridiculous. No, it is. Like, I mean, and that's a rare case.
It is rare. Yeah, there's some years where teams run away with it. But
most years we do have like an outright winner of the league. Yeah, but it can be annoying. It sucks to have ties.
I don't know. And like teams are so different at the end of the year, but.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back on track here. We got to give a huge shout out to the Upper Darby Royals for winning their first Central League game since 2023. That'll be the first under Kenny Kissinger. Congrats to the boys. They took down Ridley. I think I'm going to go back and put in the clip of me at Dick's House of Sport where I said they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to make someone's life miserable at the end of the season. They're going to play spoiler.
There it is.
This was the game.
Yeah,
this was the game where Ridley is now 5-8. If Ridley had won that game, they'd be 6-7 and like a win or two away from clinching. So I'm going to put in that quote or that clip here if I have it. I think they're gonna steal some games.
Yeah, they're going to be better. I think maybe like I don't know if it's the hot take, but like they're going to beat someone good.
They're going to beat someone they shouldn't.
Maybe mess up a season.
Yeah. Oh man, that'll be so fun if someone needs to get in the playoffs like the last week. It feels like it could be one of those years where like the 2 years ago Lions where like they beat the Packers from getting in and then they kind of took off. Like
someone's at the end of the year is going to look back at the Upper Darby game and be like, "That's."
You see, they got the turf infield. They got a turf infield now. But as a known ball knower, but I'm very happy for Upper Darby. Pat Callahan was great in this game. 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks. He also had a 2-run double in the 6th that I believe was the game winner. Jake Frederick, 2 innings, 1 hit, no earned run, and 2 Ks. Also drove in 2 runs. So kind of a 2-man show in this game here. But the weight is off the shoulders for Kenny Kissinger. Like that is just like, if you went like at this point, it probably would have been almost coming up on like 30 games. Like obviously there's only so much that a coach can do at the end of the day, but like that just has to be so rewarding for the amount of work these guys put in to get that win against a quality Ridley team. Like I'm just happy for them. Like that's all I can really say.
Yeah, I mean we definitely try to be unbiased, but I'm happy for those guys. And there's a couple guys in that group that have been, talking about Pat Callahan, Jake Frederick, have been 2 really good players for them, and just kind of haven't seen the fruits of their labor yet. And it's not a playoff appearance. It's not even anything close to a winning season, but to get that one win, that's got to feel really good.
Yeah, especially because
a long struggle. Yeah,
they probably know a lot of Ridley kids too. Like if Ridley misses the playoffs, like they're gonna have that last word there. But happy for Upper Darby. Who knows? Maybe they got another spoiler in them coming up in the stretch run here.
Might. They got a couple of seasons they could. Well, there's a couple of title races they could mess up. I
was going to say absolutely. All right, well, Ben, we got to give another shout out. How about the boys from Springfield? 2 wins this week. They came into the week with 1 win essentially. They got 2 this week. Again, playing spoiler, like Marple Newtown now at 5-8 because Jack Ray threw a complete game. It was brilliant. 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, and a 1-0 win for Springfield. Connor Manuel and TJ Valetti both threw really well in a win against Pencrest, where Manuel 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 K. 3 innings for Valetti, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 K. 3 hits, 3 K. Like the defense was outstanding in this game for these guys. And again, same thing with Upper Darby. Like, is it going to result in the playoffs? No. Does it really feel good? Absolutely. To get that, those 2 wins there. And for Upper Darby and Springfield are both in like that similar boat where like they got a lot of young guys that are going to be coming back. Like Springfield, I don't think they graduate too many guys this year.
I don't know who they graduate. Like I think the majority. So David DeJohn.
I think Jake Lennon might be a senior.
Jake Lennon's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking
no, he's a junior. Jake Lennon's a junior. Sorry.
I was thinking that we had Shane Lennon before.
Yeah, but he's so they got 2. O'Neill and DeJohn are definitely, and I think one of the pitchers too.
Okay, but still, like a young core.
Bringing back a lot.
Like obviously beating Pencrest feels great, but like beating Marple, especially in a rivalry game like that against a team that was, is threatening for the playoffs, has to feel great. But yeah, very happy for both of those organizations there. Let's give a couple injury updates here. Luke Dancona is back for Strathaven. He started against Harriton, 2 innings on that game last Monday, which is good because Strathaven, we'll talk districts in a couple minutes here. Looks like they're probably going to be safe to at least make the playoffs, and they know it as well as everybody else that they'll go as far as their pitching will take them. So if you're able to get him back at full strength on no restrictions, I know obviously when you're a guy like Luke, where you're going to be going to Boston College, pitching the ACC, you don't want to jeopardize your future.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, he's going to want to put everything he's got out there. So I think he's going to be ready to roll come playoffs. Hopefully, I think it's going to be 2 weeks from. This is being recorded Saturday night, but it'll be out, Sunday night, 2 weeks from tomorrow, I guess you'll say, So try and ramp him up a little bit here. So hopefully that goes well. I'm honestly even impressed that Garnet Valley is still sitting at 8-5 with Schaller and Thompson both injured. I don't know what their timetables are looking like. I don't know if they're coming back. Unfortunately, we don't have an Adam Schefter to give us these. I guess we're supposed to be the Schefter, but it's different when you're talking about like high school kids. But hopefully they're back. I don't really know. But the fact that they've been still finding out how to win games is big. Their pitching is definitely, with Ryan McGee, has been pretty solid, and Dylan Orr is just a sophomore getting big innings and producing. I think we'll talk districts in a sec. Like I said, they're in the big dance as of right now. I think they probably one win would definitely kind of solidify things here. But hopefully they get those guys back to go on a deep run. But let's talk districts here. We'll start. I guess we'll start at the bottom. Technically, Delco Christian is the second seed in 2A. Unfortunately, Faith Christian hasn't lost, I don't think, since 2023 because they're 9-0.
Not again.
Yeah, so they might not lose again. But as of right now,
I would love to see them. Like, do they play any bigger schools ever?
I haven't seen them play. I don't know. I'll look them up real quick. I haven't seen them play like any of. I don't even know where it is. It looks like it's in Quakertown.
Yeah.
So if they do, they'd probably be. I guess I should say they haven't lost a conference game. Yeah, they're 13-2. So they lost to. Oh, they played Holy Ghost.
They win Holy Ghost, or they lose to Holy
They
Ghost?
lost 8-1 to Holy Ghost, and they lost 6-2 to Oxford. But still, for a 2A school, those are pretty decent results there. Interborough is the 4 seed in 4A, which I believe takes 4 teams. So I think if that season ended right now, they would play Springfield Montco in the first round, which is 4A, and that's a 4-team tournament. But 5A, I'm just going to go 1-22, and we'll talk seeds. So Radnor is currently sitting at 1, Chichester at 2, Upper Moreland at 3, Upper Dublin at 4. So those would get the bye weeks. Ruston at 5, Westchester East at 6, Upper Marion at 7, Strathaven at 8, Phoenixville 9, Upper Perk 10, Hatboro Horsham 11, Unionville 12. I feel like it's a lot of different teams than last year.
This has been a little bit. Well, I think have a couple of them. Did a couple of them move up? Well, Interborough moved down.
Yeah.
A couple might have moved
let's
up.
see. Marple's at 13, Academy Park 14, Harriton 15, Kennett 16, Springfield Delco 17, Pencrest 18, Pottsgrove 19, Oxford 20, Pottstown 21, and Sun Valley 22. I don't remember seeing Upper Perk before in 5A.
No, they're new.
They got to be new.
Or we could we might just be stupid too.
Well, we know that, but
let's see. Let's go to 2024. I'll see where Upper Perk was last time.
Where can you see that?
I'm on the PIA website, the district website. If you scroll way down to the bottom, like
I didn't notice that. Yeah, let's see. Upper Perk was 4A last year.
4A, okay. Oh yeah, there they are.
There we go.
All right.
Well, we do know ball somewhat that they weren't in the bracket last year, but yeah, I mean they were 9-7 in 4A last year. Now they're 7-7 up here. That's some. I guess it's probably not much change in terms of the conference, but it looks like we could be seeing them dancing. So if the playoffs ended right now, let's talk Delco. So Radnor would get the bye, as would Chichester. Strathaven would take on Phoenixville, where the winner would play Radnor. So we could potentially get that Strathaven-Radnor second round matchup. Not too much Delco because last year, Marple made it, Pencrest made it. So obviously we're losing a little bit of teams. We'd have 1, 2, 3, only 3 right now. It looks like very, very non-Delco heavy. Marple right now is literally decimal points away from being over Unionville, but at 5-8 and Unionville 5-9, still a lot can change. Technically, Harriton not out at 4-9. If they win out, theoretically they could make it.
Harriton's realistically a game out. They're 4-9. The team in 11th is 4-8.
Yeah, so
and then 5-9, 5-8.
Yeah, but outside of that, Pencrest is definitely out. Springfield's definitely out. Sun Valley's definitely out. But moving on to 6A, it looks like it should be a pretty strong 6A showing here. Haverford sits at 1, Perk Valley at 2, North Penn at 3, Methacton at 4, Coatesville at 5, Neshaminy at 6, Lower Marion 7, Westchester Henderson 8. So those would be your bye weeks. It's literally the same tournament, just doubled in size. Great Valley 9, Pennsbury 10, CB South 11, Downingtown East 12, Quakertown 13, Avongrove 14. Our guys at Conestoga at 15, Souderton 16, Boyertown 17, Springford 18, and our guys over at Garnet Valley at 19, Plymouth White Marsh 20, Wissahickon 21, Ben Salem 22, Council Rock North 23, and CB West 24. Let's see. Council Rock South 25, Downingtown West 26, Owen J. Roberts 27, Cheltenham 28, Penridge 29, William Tennant 30. Tough losing streak for Ridley has him at 31, Abington 32, CB East 33, Norristown 34, Chester 35, Upper Darby 36, and Penwood 37. So in this bracket, Haverford would be the 1 seed, Lower Merion the 7, so they would both get the bye weeks. We got Conestoga right above the home game. They would be hosting a home game as of today. They would take on Springford at home. Garnet Valley would be the 19 seed, so they would play the 14. We're very close to Ostoga and Garnet Valley. First round matchup here. They would take on Avongrove at Avongrove. And I believe that is it for the first round here.
Real quick, going down to the bottom, the Christian Academy is also it doesn't get much love from us, but they are a Delco team.
Apparently they are.
They're in Brookhaven, yeah.
Brookhaven, right? Yeah. I've never met someone that went there. I don't know anyone. I've never heard from anyone that goes. It must be a very, very small school.
Yeah, but they're in third in the 1A, so that would put them in the playoff spot.
There we go. 2-6, third in the district. Hey, no, I was just reading. There's only, I guess the 1A's got a lot smaller because Delco Christian Faith moved up.
Yeah, there's 1A's got 3 teams with on here 0 wins and one that just hasn't played a game yet.
Is Faith Christian a bit redundant?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, let's move in. Unfortunately, we don't have too much to talk about in the PCL because it was not a great week for the Delco teams. O'Hara went 0-2. They had the tough task of playing LaSalle and Wood. Although they lost, it kind of shows them like where they stand. You know, they have work to be done to kind of like, I think Wood and LaSalle are kind of in their own tier at the top of the conference right now, because I think O'Hara and Bonner are both either 3-4 or like 4-5 or something. So at least they kind of know where they stack up. Carroll lost to, I believe, Wood and I think St. Joe's Prep on Monday.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's correct. So they lost both those games. They're hanging on. There's a chance. Did you know there's a chance on Thursday that Carroll versus Devon Prep game is a win and get in for that? Really? Because right now Carroll is, I believe, 4-7, and I think Devon is 3-8. Which I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry. Carroll is 4-6, and Devon is 3-7. So if they go into that with Carroll either having the same record or Carroll being 1 game up, if Devon beats them, they'll have the tiebreaker.
Wow! So is this the last week of PCL?
This is the last week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a very good chance that game. The only way that game isn't for all the marbles there is if Carroll wins on Monday and Devon loses. But Carroll's playing Bonner, so there's a very real chance that game if that's the case, I'd probably go. Honestly, if it's at Devon too, a great place to watch a game. So that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, Bonner did beat Roman on Monday. Mike Klowanski, another great start, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run with 4 Ks. Ryan Friel went 2 for 3. He drove in 2 runs in that game. But Bonner's loss against St. Joe's Prep, like that was one of those just flush it. Like they had won a ton of games in a row, and then they were down all of a sudden like 10-0 in the third. I think Johnny Ortega pitched okay, but I think the defense really struggled. A lot of those runs were unearned. But at this point, they're still in a good spot. I think, according to my standings, they are 6-5, so they should only have 1 more PCL game. Obviously, they're safe, but at this point, they're kind of just playing to get that home game, which seems up in the air. I think one way or another, they're probably playing in the 4-5 game if they beat Carroll.
That feels about right. I don't have the PCL standings in front of me.
Yeah, I do, which helps.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they're in. They're going to need that defense to clean it up if you want to win some playoff games. That those errors, like they hurt you in the regular season. That it's you double how much they hurt in the postseason.
I'm just begging for an O'Hara Bonner 4-5.
Oh, that would be incredible.
I want it to be. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously we don't care who wins, but I want it to be at Bonner this time, just because it was at O'Hara last time. Get it on Bonner's field this time. Have the hill packed out there. That'll be very cool.
That would be pretty cool.
But yeah, like I said, tough week for the PCL. But at this point, at the season end right now, they're still sending all 3 teams to the playoffs. We've definitely added more Devon Prep coverage. Shout out our part owners over at Lens, Mike Palumbo and the Devon guys. I honestly, this is kind of goes on us. They have a lot more Delco players than I realized. So when that kind of goes into, Johnny Dugan from Broomall, Caleb Flannery, I think he's also from Broomall. They got another Springfield guy in there, and they're continuing to grow that. Plus a great field and great place to watch a game as well. But at this point, it kind of feels like it's going to be one or the other of those, last teams in here.
Yeah,
and it's also funny for Mike Palumbo because he went to Carroll too, so he could be playing against his alma mater for the right to get into the tournament here.
Storylines there.
But, yeah. But all right, we got a lot to talk about the Interac. We'll start on Tuesday before we get into a ridiculous Malvern Prep and Haverford game on Friday. But on Tuesday, Haverford School, they got their first Interac win. Jaden Rivera hit 2 homers, by our count, his 7th and 8th of the year. Drove in 6 of the 12 runs, including I put in quotes, a walk-off grand slam because it was the mercy rule in a 12-2 win. Chestnut Hill actually went up 2-0, but Rivera homered 2 in the 3rd to tie it up. They took a 4-2 lead. They scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 5th. I have it here. Zach Lawler single, Ethan Farrington bases loaded walk, Caleb Seaver single, Braden Scanlon single, which I'm assuming is Connor Scanlon's brother or cousin, and Jaden Rivera grand slam. Shout out Jacob Horwitz, 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and 6 Ks, and freshman Owen Murphy closed it out. Obviously that one felt good. Obviously it wasn't as big of a stretch as Upper Darby, but just to get that first conference win for Jack McCann and the boys has to feel good. And kind of get a little bit of momentum rolling there against a good Chestnut Hill team. Also on Tuesday, Episcopal took down Penn Charter. Logan Carell, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Roman Nataro, 2 innings. 2 1/3, no hits, no earned runs. They both had 4 Ks. Episcopal scored all 3 of their runs in the bottom of the 4th. Reggie King has been red hot. 2-run double made it 2-1. Then Will Cohen knocked in a run to make it 3-1, which ended up being the final score. It just feels like every single game we're seeing Reggie King. He's going like 2 for 3 with like a double or 2, a couple of RBIs. And I think Episcopal stats are private, but he's definitely having a really good year.
Yeah, he's really turned it up recently, as has the rest of the team. They're playing some really good baseball right now.
They're just a lot different than last year.
Yeah, the different, honestly, in a good way. Like they look really good right now.
Admittedly, like I thought, they had a lot of good hitters, that quite honestly didn't play great last year, but are obviously very talented, leave, and we knew their pitching was coming back. But then again, Timmy Dennis, one of their best pitchers, stopped playing baseball to focus on basketball, 6'8", get it. And Mike Schaefer is out for the year. So, you had your top 2 guys back, but the depth has been tested. But like Roman Taro has been great. Charlie Smith threw a gem against St. Joe's Prep today on Saturday. The depth is definitely better than I think we expected. But, their offense, man, like against Germantown, the team that was ahead of them in the standings, they beat them 9-2 on Friday. Hunter West with another great start, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned runs, and 9 Ks. Once again, Reggie King, 2 for 3, double, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, right? We've been saying it. Spencer Shue drove in 2 runs. He had 3 hits, including a double as well. That's just a dominant win for this team, and it feels like we mentioned, just a very, very different than last year where they can beat you in different ways. They're not just trying to grind out every 2-1, 3-2 win. They can still beat you that way, but they don't have to beat you that way. Yeah.
The support from the offense, I think, is done so much for this team.
All right, let's talk about this Haverford School and Malvern game, because this is now the 4th year that Delco Baseball now has existed. 3rd year in the high school level, because I started doing the Delco League in 2022 and then started high school that wraparound in the spring of 23. This is by far the wildest game I've ever written a recap for. 23-15, Malvern won this game. There were 11 combined home runs. Imagine, I wrote it in the article. It almost didn't feel real typey. There was one point in the game where the Haverford School had 6 home runs and they were down 12. Like, just saying that out loud was
crazy.
Was just jarring. And I'm not going to waste everyone's time by, chronologically just talking about what happened in that game. I think it would be easier just to say who hit all the home runs. So for Malvern, we had Jake Bauer, Luke Moore, Owen Hammond, and Tommy Sergio. For Haverford, 2 from Jaden Rivera, numbers 9 and 10 on the year, 2 from Pat White, 1 from Nicky Vani, 1 from Zach Fuscaldo, and 1 from Zach Lawler. Just a hilarious game. I mean, it was a slugfest from the jump. There were 4 home runs in the first inning alone. I was actually I was on the driving range for like the second half of this game, and every time I checked, I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like this is
Someone else hit a home
still,
run.
yeah, like still going on like this." And listen, everyone. I mean, I assume most people listening know this, but yes, we know the Haverford School field is tiny. But with that, with that being said,
we haven't
this
seen
still doesn't. This still doesn't happen very often.
No,
you know?
no, this is a new development. This is a rare thing, and yeah, it is. I don't know how far it is to right center or right field or whatever.
280,
like
280,
yeah,
270
whatever the point of contention is at Haverford School. But that's the people have not done this. We haven't seen 11 home runs in the game. This is just insane. We broke the simulation for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I've seen like 5 or 6 at a game for Haverford before. I mean, you'd obviously like it to be a little bigger, but at the same time, like we watched that Malvern and Haverford School game last year, and it was 2-1. You know, so it's just I don't know. Everything was going right. It was a really nice day. Maybe the wind was blowing out a little bit, but that's one of those games where both teams come out of that like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah,
you know, like even I mean, I don't think either team can be very happy with it overall.
It's just like. I don't even know if there's anything you can take from that. It's just like,
just be like, all right, boys.
I don't know, man.
Hey, offense, good job, I guess. You know,
yeah, way to swing the bats, boys.
Yeah, but yeah, just an absolutely wild game all around. But all right, let's get a quick word from our guys over at the Longan Group before we wrap up with the power rankings, the player of the week, all that kind of stuff. So the Longan Group is an insurance company. They offer insurance solutions and risk management strategies, not just for individuals, but for businesses and families that are tailored to meet your unique needs. You could buy insurance anywhere, but at the Longan Group, they build a relationship with you and advise you as your needs evolve. They offer homeowners insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, business, especially for contractors, putting their lives on the line, electrician, plumber, HVAC, painter, landscaper, anything else. You can give Charlie a call, 610-724-9717. He takes calls during business hours, but if they want to call after hours, they better hope that Friends Central's not playing. I'll tell you what, you know, we talk about how that Friends League hasn't been great lately. Shipley just beat Friends Central pretty bad the other day. So when they meet likely in the Friends League Championship, that's definitely going to be a
good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. But yeah, so head over to the longangrp.com to learn more. All right, let's get into the power rankings. This by far has been the hardest week, the most chaotic week for us, without a doubt. We're going to start. We still have Haverford at number 1 overall. We know that they dropped their first game this week, but overall, we still view them as the best, most well-rounded team. Radnor at number 2 as well. They've kind of been in their own tier this week. Now, of course, Bonner did beat Radnor this weekend, but I don't think Radnor probably started maybe 3 or 4 of their normal guys. Their number 5 pitcher. Both teams kind of just treated it more like getting guys experience. So kind of hard to weigh into that. I think at this point,
not really much you can take from it.
Radnor's 12-1 in their conference. Bonner's 6-5, I think. So I don't think that warrants them being switched. This is where things get interesting because we're going to keep Conestoga at 4 because they played Lower Merion. They beat Lower Merion, but Lower Merion beating Haverford really made things complicated. I think we kind of viewed it as Lower Merion. It's that third day of the week beating Haverford. Obviously, that win means a lot. Beating Haverford, it was also their third and fourth pitchers pitching. Don't get me wrong, not trying to belittle it. Still an amazing win. But I think, Conestoga and Lower Merion, they literally played. So if you're deciding between the two, I'll go with the one that beat them straight up right there. We're moving Episcopal up to 6. They have won, I think, 6 of 7, and the one they didn't win, they tied. So they're red hot right now. They have deserved that jump. Beating Germantown's a great win as well. Beating Penn Charter, really good wins there. So I think they leapfrog our 2 Central League teams here. Strathaven at number 7. Luke Dancona coming back is huge for them. It seems like they had a couple good offensive games. They put, I think, 14 on Harriton earlier in the week. They beat up on Ridley pretty bad too recently. So I think their offense is starting to click a little bit here. Atticus Bean has been swinging a hot bat as well. Great name. One of the best names in Delco, without a doubt.
Real good one.
Garner Valley at 8. Hopefully we get Chris Schaller or Brady Thompson back soon. Not really sure what their timetables are because they're probably one of the best 3-4 combos in Delco, and they're both out, which is brutal. And O'Hara stays at 9. Not that they don't deserve it, but there really isn't, in my opinion, a 10th team that is pushing, to kind of get in the picture right now.
I think we have a pretty clear 9. No disrespect to anyone, but I think they're like, you look at teams who deserve to be ranked in this right now. There's 9 of them. I don't really think anyone else has an argument.
Yep. All right, let's move into the players of the week here. Well, I'll say this: our hitter of the week was not too complicated. There was a lot of guys with a couple home run games. Toby Myers had a 2 home run game. Luke Hunter, Jackson Messick had a 2 home run game as well as Sun Valley took down Interborough. But Jaden Rivera went 5 for 11 with 4 home runs and 8 RBIs. I believe his 10th home run of the year was the last one. So 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just a ridiculous game or week. He drove in 8 runs as well. I believe that is his second Player of the Week award, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he got one early on, I think.
Yep. Pitcher of the week was a tough one. We're going to go with Austin Havertine because he had 16 strikeouts against a very good Conestoga team for Radnor. 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, maybe like, I don't think there were many walks, if any, maybe like 1 or 2 walks, but just a brilliant performance. The most strikeouts we've seen from a pitcher. Definitely have to give Brian Heck a shout out. He recorded 2 wins this week, and that's a lot of pitches being thrown. Absolutely. I think he threw 169 pitches this week, which feels like a lot. But
yeah, well, I mean, like he's going to go out, take the ball, be a dog. Hopefully, like there's someone there like making sure they don't make a habit of doing that just because he is still a young arm. One of their more promising arms. Like you know, take care of it. Like don't.
Yep. All right. Question of the week, as we added a couple weeks ago, not to be confused with Dave Shapanski's question of the week. His this week was favorite Wawa snack, but then I think Anthony Greco misheard him and just said buffalo chicken sandwich. Like just thought it was anything from Wawa. I'm like that's not really a snack.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, depending on how much you eat, I guess a buffalo chicken sandwich could be a snack.
Skinny though. But yeah, I said mac and cheese. I think that counts as a snack.
Yeah,
if not the double pretzels would be if you want to call a snack.
I would go to pretzel. I would go to pretzel, like the little buffalo chicken bites too. Sometimes,
those are good.
They're not good. Like I don't know how to put. Like they're not good, but like
they're quick.
They do a job. They do a job.
Yeah, as a role player. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So our question of the week is I'm going to split this into 2 because I think what is the best baseball field in Delco and what is your favorite to play at? Because I think the best, I think it's Episcopal. That's a professional quality, field over there.
That's an easy.
But favorite, I'll say, let's take our biases out and say not our home, like not Strathaven or not Springfield. I always just felt really comfortable in the box at O'Hara. I feel like it's good dimensions. I feel like there's no technical batter's eye, but it's all just trees out there. So it's not really much. And I don't know. I always feel good in the box there. I think it's the dirt's pretty good. It's kind of oddly hilly in the outfield, but it's well kept. So I enjoy playing at O'Hara.
I kind of the same. I've played pretty well at O'Hara and have enjoyed being there. But I'll try and think of another good one. I always did really bad at Marple, and that was before they put the new field out.
Well, I'll say this. While you think about one, I'm going to say my least favorite is Sun Valley just because there's no batter's eye and there's a white school in the background. I hate hitting there.
I got shelled at Sun Valley so many times. Oh, you know what's it? I'll give these guys a shout out. Chester.
Oh, that field's awesome. That feels fantastic.
Fantastic field. I really like playing at Chester.
Similar again, there's no batter's eye, but that one's not quite as bad out there as Sun Valley. No, the dirt is perfect.
Yeah, Chester.
They do a great job. Yeah. I always like.
Oh, go ahead.
I think back when we were in high school, I don't know how it looks now. Harriton was always a very nice field.
Harriton was beautiful. I don't think I ever actually pitched at Harriton's field, but they were beautiful.
Underrated, just fun field to play at is the Narberth Playground.
I was gonna say it's not Delco, but like kind of like underrated, like nostalgic is the that where you go there for like a Legion game. They got the basketball league going, like that's kind of a cool. That's a cool
playing in the playground. You're trying to hit in dead center, I think what are some other good ones? I'm so glad that old Springfield field is gone because I had nightmares, PTSD playing there. They just
I love that old field, man.
I mean, if we didn't have like 3 losses there, I'd probably feel a little better.
You'd feel a little bit different.
Yeah, playing on the Marple turf is great. I haven't played under the lights there, but I played for Edco. It's not my favorite place to watch a game, but it's a great place to be a player as well. Our MSBL field is Dermond, which is tiny. I like playing there.
Dermond's cool too. Right? They got a lot going.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I only played one game at the Haverford school. I pinch hit and was trying to go yard, but hit a single lame. So I haven't played there much. I like Bonner, but Bonner sometimes the sun is brutal as a hitter. But I like the batter's eye, that they have a legit batter's eye, and it's usually a solid field. I like being able to look over from the hill. Homer at Garden Valley.
What about Little League fields? Like,
I think Nell is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, we'll have different because I didn't really do. We had all the Rick and stuff, so we were always like Lanark Hills. We were over there.
Yeah.
Low-key one that was kind of cool was always Highland Park because they had the lights, and it was like this weird thing where it was like tucked back in this random area.
Yeah, I played my last ever Little League game there. And I remember a cool story here. There was a kid named Naz Lennon. I don't think he played high school baseball, but me and him were talking about like, we want to try and like homer in our final Little League game, right?
Yeah.
He had never homered in his life. And I just told him, I'm like, all right, like we hit back to back in the order. I'm like, all right, like you hit one here and I'll come back up and do the same. Grip the bat as hard as you can and just swing as hard as you've ever swung. And he homered. So I'm like, crap. Like I have to now or else I'm jerk. And then I did the same thing on an 0-2 pitch. I was swinging so hard my first two at bats. And then I hit one to dead center. That was a cool feel, but that was like a cool baseball like core. Like, we actually like literally just talked that into existence.
Funny enough, I hit my first home run there too.
Did you really? Yeah.
That's cool. That was my first. We would play in the Highland Park tournament, and then we played districts there 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
And I did that, and
we had the cops called a parrot fight at that field one time. I was playing for media, and we were playing Nether Swarthmore. They were a younger team, kind of playing up.
Yeah.
We must have been up, no joke, like 25-0. And there was something like our guys were like they had like a runner on second, and they were just like kind of like messing, like running around him during pickoffs, like whatever it was, he was enjoying it, but their coach did not find it funny.
Oh god,
it got messy. But yeah, the cops were called. It was really funny. I think it was literally like the Nether players, like you're down 25-0. Like they can't, like they weren't that distraught about it, but it was really funny. But yeah, I like that's a good poll. Drexel Hill had a great snack bar.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Media now has lights, so I think they're close. I like the media complex. I always did, but that's a good poll. Adding the Little League into that, I wasn't thinking about that.
For sure, have to throw that out there. Got a lot of great Little League.
A lot of good complexes around here. All right, last thing we got this week is the game of the week. We will be heading to the Interact. We got Episcopal in the Haverford School. They played a great game early in the year. I think EA won 10-7. This one will be over at Episcopal. That'll be Friday at 4:00. The weather looks awful all week, so I'm not really sure what we're gonna get in because as of right now, according to my weather app, it's supposed to rain every single day next week. So fingers crossed. I got a tea time Saturday morning, so hopefully it's gone by then. But
it's looking like Friday we're clear.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
and I know Episcopal probably has a tarp too, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But yeah, I'm excited to watch that. It looks like I would think Hunter West will probably pitch that game for Episcopal. For Haverford, probably Owen Murphy. So two, freshman and a sophomore would be pretty cool to kind of see the future of two pitchers who I think have Division I upside. Absolutely. So I'm excited to get out to that. But I believe that's all we got for today. Very, very loaded episode here. Or what we're getting in the stretch run. We got this upcoming week is the last full week of Central League games. The following week is definitely a lot lighter, but we'll hopefully have. I think it would be great if Haverford and Radnor go into that final day tied.
That'd be really cool.
And we have to follow along and have. I would imagine our game of the week is probably one of those two for sure. But yeah, just very, very exciting stuff. A lot of playoff lines, a lot of conference championships all up for grabs. But as always, we appreciate you taking the time to listen. It's been cool seeing the YouTube numbers continue to grow. I think having it consistently Sunday night at 7 has been really good for that. But yeah, thank you all for listening. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll hope to see you out at some games soon.